Hello all, welcome to the ENbreezEN session. We will be discussing the following topics today. The monsoon prediction in India and the eco-sensitive zones will be dealt in detail, and from the prelims point of view we shall discuss Zapad and KAZIND exercise and also Malagam Committee. We shall also discuss two important protected areas in news, which are Orang National Park and Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. And in the end, I have also mentioned the three topics which are important news items from today's newspapers, but have already been dealt in the ENbreezEN session earlier. So you can also look into those topics. So let us move on to the first topic. The first topic for today is monsoon prediction in India. This is in news as the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted above normal rain for the month of September. It has also revised the forecast for the month of August. So if we move into the topic, we can see that there are basically two prediction models available to forecast monsoon in India. The first one is the statistical method that uses long-term averages of various physical parameters such as sea surface temperature, snowfall, temperature of land mass to predict the intensity and onset of monsoon. It basically seeks to create a historical relationship between the Indian summer monsoon and the global atmospheric oceanic parameters. This method is more suitable for long-term forecasts. Then we have the dynamic model or the monsoon mission coupled forecast system. In this, we are able to predict behavioral changes in the atmospheric and oceanic parameters. It uses tools such as Doppler radar, satellites, and oceanic parameters such as wave height, wind speed, and direction for effective data collection. This method is more suitable for short-term predictions. In this context, we shall also discuss the National Monsoon Mission under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. So this mission aims for the development of a seamless prediction system using monsoon mission model for different time scales like the seasonal, extended range and short range prediction. Under the National Monsoon Mission, we have commissioned the Global Ensemble Forecast System, and we have improved the cyclone tracking mechanism, and also we have operationalized the monsoon mission dynamic model. So let us now look into the factors that affect monsoon in India. It is important from both the prelims and mains point of view. Each and every factor mentioned here has the scope for individual discussion, but we shall limit our discussion to a brief one. So we can classify it into upper air circulations and the lower air circulations. The upper air circulations include the subtropical westerly jet stream, which are responsible for the onset and burst of monsoon. Then we have the tropical easterly jet stream that are generated due to the temperature difference between the Tibetan Plateau and the Mascarene High in the Madagascar region. Then we have the Somalian jet, which intensifies the effect of southwest monsoon. Then we have the Walker circulations associated with the El Nino. Next we have the Equino or the atmospheric circulations that are associated with the Indian Ocean dipole. We also have the Madden-Julian oscillations that are responsible for variation in monsoon in India. The lower air circulations include the southeast trade winds that convert into southwest trade winds during the end of the summer season. Then we also have the tropical cyclones in the two adjoining seas around India that are responsible for the breaks in monsoon. So we have understood that there are a host of parameters that affect the monsoon in India and also make prediction very difficult. So as we have discussed, the National Monsoon Mission aims to create a holistic model because the monsoon has a very versatile impact on the socio-economic affairs of India, ranging from agriculture to disaster to inland navigation. So this is all in this topic. We shall move on to the next topic. The next topic is eco-sensitive zones. This is in news as concerns are still raised about the ecological health of Deepar Beel in Assam even after it being notified as a eco-sensitive zone. So what are eco-sensitive zones? These are fragile areas around protected areas such as national parks and wildlife sanctuaries that are notified by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change under the provisions of Environment Protection Act of 1986. The basic aim is to regulate certain activities around these protected areas so as to minimize the negative impacts of such activities on the fragile ecosystem. They are also known as eco-fragile zones. The width of the ESZ can go up to 10 kilometers around the protected area, but this is not a rule, and the type of regulation may vary from protected area to area. Let us move on to the significance of ecosensitive zones. So it includes minimizing the negative impacts of urbanization or development, reducing man-animal conflicts, sustainable development and tourism, forest conservation and protection of rights of forest communities, and it also acts as a shock absorber for protected areas, that is transition zone from highly protected area to a low protected area. Now let us look into the classification of the activities that are allowed in ESZ. So the range of activities under which are prohibited include commercial mining, sawmills, industries causing pollution, and establishment of major hydroelectric projects. Activities that are regulated include felling of trees, establishment of hotels and resorts for tourism, commercial use of natural water, erection of electric cables, and such activities. Activities which are permitted include ongoing agricultural or horticultural practices, rainwater harvesting, organic farming, and use of renewable energy resources. So in this context, we shall also look into Deepar Beel in Assam. So it is a permanent freshwater lake in Assam and the only Ramsar site in Assam. It is also an important bird area which is recognized by the BirdLife International and also a bird sanctuary. This is all in this topic. Let us move on to the prelims facts. The first topic under this is the Zapad exercise. It is a multi-nation 13-day military exercise to be held in Russia. It primarily focuses on anti-terror operations. The aim of the exercise is to enhance the military and strategic cooperation among the participating nations. The participating nations include Mongolia, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Serbia, Russia, India, and Belarus. So the most of the nations are from South Asia or the Eurasian region. The observer nations include Pakistan, China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Uzbekistan, and Sri Lanka. The next one is the KAZIND exercise. It is an annual bilateral exercise between the armies of India and Kazakhstan. Next we have the Malagam Committee. So the committee was formed to study the microfinance sector in India, which are regulated by the bank. The report contains suggestions to regulate the microfinance sector, pricing of interest, increasing transparency, and reducing the problems of multiple lending and overborrowing. Here we have to remember that Malagam Committee also presented a report on economic capital framework of the RBI, but it was overridden by the Bimal Jalan Committee on economic capital framework. Next we have the Orang National Park. So the national park is situated in Assam and it is situated on the northern bank of river Brahmaputra. The Pachnoi river and the Dhansiri rivers flow along the eastern and western boundaries of Orang National Park. The important species here include the Royal Bengal tiger, the one-horned rhino or the Indian rhino, pygmy hog, and the Asian elephant. It is also notified as a tiger reserve. It is named after the native tea tribe in the region. Next we have the Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary that is under the floods now. So it is also located in the state of Assam and situated on the southern bank of river Brahmaputra. The important species include one-horned rhino and water buffalo. So we have to remember that the highest density of one-horned rhino is found in Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. It is also referred to mini Kaziranga due to the similar landscape and significant rhino population. In this context, we shall also discuss an important species from the environment portion, that is great one-horned rhino or the Indian rhino. So this is the largest rhino species that survives today. The highest concentration is found in the Kaziranga National Park in Assam. It is listed under the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and under the IUCN red list, it is categorized as vulnerable. So these were the topics that were important from the prelims point of view. Let us move on to the last slide. Here I have mentioned 3 topics, that is the coal sector, special drawing rights and the purchasing managers index. So these topics have already been covered under the ENbreezEN session earlier. The links are provided below, you can look into that. So this is all for today. Thank you.